Monday the 9th of October. It's day 3 of the war. Numbers of dead Israelis are still going up. At the same time, there's also other stuff going on in the world, like this one, major flooding in Burma. And you can see the map there. You see India in the middle there, and then to the east is Burma. Tuesday the 10th of October. Hezbollah is attacking in the west and in the east. Small battles result. The large attack of 100,000 to 250,000 rockets has not yet happened. The bombing by Israel from the air continues. Hundreds of homes and high-rises are destroyed. That's in Gaza. Major earthquake in Afghanistan. Hundreds are dead, but the war overshadowed everything, right? Tuesday the 10th, it's day 4 of the war. A third front has been opened. Syria in the northeast. Rockets are coming in from Syria. Israel bombed locations in Syria. So now they have to deal with 3 sides. The one, of course, in Gaza is the largest, but then you also have to deal with what comes in from Hezbollah, from Lebanon, and then you have to deal now with what comes in from the northeast, from Syria. Wednesday the 11th, it's day 5 of the war. Commanders from Iranian Revolutionary Guards are already in southern Lebanon, so they were flying there to coordinate the attack. Iran is orchestrating the events. On the bottom there and on the picture, young Israelis returning to Israel for battle. They are ready, they were called back, they're excited in defending Israel. Thursday the 12th, day 6. There are still isolated terrorists in southern Israel, outside of Gaza. The bombing of Hamas houses continues. 360,000 Israeli soldiers are being trained for the ground war. Israel destroys the Aleppo and Damascus airport runways so that the Russians or the Iranians can't bring in more equipment.
One of the things that people don't know, Eric, is that when God promised, there was a promise to Abraham. He promised Abraham to have a seed, land, and then the blessing. The blessing cannot come unless the seed is in his land. Yeah. Every time there was a curse, we were out of our land. And every time he wanted to restore us, he brought us back to our land. So the return of the Jews back to their land, the restoration of the people back to their promised land, where blessing will follow, is the problem of the enemy. Every time God wanted to bless us, he brought us back to the land. Every time he wanted to restore us, he brought us back to the land. That's the most amazing event of the last 2,000 years, the return of the Jews to their land.
Friday the 13th, day 7. Day of rage. All over the world, the new numbers of the killed Israelis so far, 1,700. The pictures coming out of are too gruesome to show, even too gruesome to talk about. Israeli jets keep pounding Gaza. The ground attack was delayed again. Palestinians are leaving the north of Gaza by the tens of thousands, fleeing to the south. They can't get into Egypt, so they all are assembling in the south. In the north of Israel, rockets shot by Hezbollah into Israel again and again and again. Here is a little video I like to show you.
Palestinians are fleeing northern Gaza. Israel's military dropping thousands of flyers, urging more than 1 million people to evacuate ahead of Israel's ground invasion.
The aim here is to minimize the damage to civilians.
Israel's military is building up at the Gaza border for the invasion against Hamas. But Hamas is ordering Palestinian civilians to remain in Gaza and has been preventing many of them from leaving their homes. Some fear the humanitarian crisis will get worse.
Estimates that more than 250,000 people in Gaza have already been displaced, the only power station ceasing to operate, and a serious shortage of water.
In neighboring Jordan, more than 15,000 protesters filled the streets today in support of Hamas and chanting against Israel and the U.S.
Saturday the 14th of October, day 8. At 2:20 a.m. the ground attack started. Only limited groups enter Gaza at this time. Tanks, military vehicles and Israeli soldiers will enter Gaza shortly. In the next war, talking about Gog and Magog, Hezbollah and other Iranian proxies will fire unprecedented missile barrages and aim to several disruptive civilian life and IDF operations. The army estimates that the group will launch 4,000 rockets per day in the first day of the future conflict. I'm sorry, that's when Hezbollah gets started. That's the next war, Hezbollah. Including all the others at the same time too. So it'll be huge if that will start. We still don't know if it will or not. Next, as part of the intimidation campaign, some people in Berlin have started marking the buildings where Jews lived. Unbelievable, this is what happened under Hitler. The places were all marked, Jews, don't shop here. And now they're doing it with houses all over. It's unbelievable, in Europe especially. Have they not learned? Sunday the 15th, it's day 9 of the war. The ground attack was postponed until next week. Hezbollah kept shooting rockets into Israel. Sorry, that's a typo. Shooting rockets into Israel in the north of Israel. Israel responds in turn. Amir Tsafarti writes, many people keep asking me if this is the Ezekiel war. My answer is simple. It is not. But this war may very well pave the road to that Ezekiel war.